Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Inshallah, before we begin, I'm just waiting so we get time for the people to start or people to come in. And we will begin, inshallah. So I'm waiting about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, inshallah. Tops 5 minutes. Inshallah, here we go. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. A review from last week from the book Learning Arabic Language of the Quran. And I believe we stopped at page 34. In the review of the book in the first chapter, talking about words, nouns, and verbs as it listed or it states in the book, al-kalimatu. Al-kalimatu, which means word. It says a word is a unit of spoken or written language. And inshallah, this is related to the linguistic meaning of the word. But later on, inshallah, maybe the next lesson, Next time, that will introduce the introduction al-Muqaddam, the introduction to the book called Al-Ajrumiyya, and which is a good shot to Saniya al-Jurumiyya, inshallah. So maybe next weekend, next Friday, inshallah, I will enter the introduction of the book, because what we will learn from today's lesson will make it easy and assistance to understand maybe the first chapter or the first few lines in al-Jurumiyya, inshallah. So back to the book, as the Sheikh mentioned, a word is a unit of spoken or written language, and that is the linguistic meaning. In Arabic, you're going to hear about Arabic grammar is going to come from 2 points of view, not related to the madhahib, not related to the school of thoughts, but related to the linguistic meaning of things, or the meaning of things according to the scholars of Arabic grammar. So it listed some words. So it says kitabun, a book, alima, he knew, wa kataba, he wrote. And the first one is a noun. So I mentioned last week that a noun, a ism, it doesn't mean noun only. A ism, it means noun, pronoun, adjectives, adverbs, and some interjections. And then that's the first parts of speech, which is called al-ism. So the parts of speech in Arabic is 3: al-ism, wal-fi'lu, wal-harf. So 3 parts of speech in Arabic is considered al-ism, which means nouns, pronoun, adjectives, adverbs. All right? This is what is consistent to what is the meaning or what is al-ism. And I said from last week, a short interpretation, it is the names of all things. It is the names of all things. So we have al-ism, and you have al-fi'lu, which is related to verbs. And verbs in Arabic grammar or Arabic language is related to past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. Past, present, and so related to the past, present, and future, there's some aspects of this that needs to be understood. Verbs are fixed on 3 times: the past, the present, and the future tense. Then we have al-harf. Al-harf means particles. For example, fi, which means in, la, which means no, na'am, which means yes, hal, which means asking the question, right? So these are considered to be particles of speech, which means the word by itself is vague. It needs either a noun or a verb to give it usage or meanings. For example, fi al-bayti, in the house, fil bayt, in the house, right? It needs a particle, needs to work with a noun or a verb or both of them. In some cases, we see works with both, right? Or a noun or a verb, which to convey its meaning with the particle. So by itself, the particle is vague. For example, el, the particle el, or alif lam, which it comes in front of a noun. And we get into that today. The particle el, which means equivalent to the. This is considered al-harf. By itself, al by itself have no meaning, but it only connects or works with a noun. Inshallah, in future lessons, we get more into the meanings and the usage of these things. So on page 33, reviewing and skipping some of the vocab, focusing on al-ism. So al-ism in the Arabic language is related to what? Al-ism is related to is related to nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and some interjections. Al-ism, as I mentioned from last weekend, there's some signs that a word or an ism. There's a number of things that fall under al-ism, or the plural of ism is called al-asma. There's some things that fall under this category, which I already mentioned: nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, right? For example, an ism, the common ism that you will find it has either accepts tanween or not. Either accepts tanween or not. And the book is mentioning in this lesson, letting you know there are certain nouns or a noun, it either is going to be naqira or marifa. Either is going to be naqira, which means indefinite, or there's going to be marifa. When a word or a noun can accept alif lam or can accept a tanween at the end of the word, for example, kitabun. Kitabun is M-E-N, damatan. The damatan on the word represent that this is an, this letter, this word is a ism. It represent that the word is a ism and it ends with tanween. So this is one of the symbols, alama, one of the signs that this is an ism in Arabic. This is one of the signs that this is an ism, tanween. Any word that ends with tanween, whether it's damatan, fatatan, kasratan, at the end of the word, it represents that is an ism. If the word can be attached to it, the particles, al-harf, alif, walam, or al, for example, al-kitabu, this represents that this word is a ism. It is a noun. I mentioned in Arabic, a noun or ism is not a noun only, it's also an adjective. Adjectives are the same thing. Either it could be definite or indefinite. So the signs of naqira is called a tanween. And the signs of al-ma'rifa is adding to the ism alif wa lam. Al. For example, naqira, kitabun, a book. Kitabun, ending with damatan. Al-kitabu, with the particle alif lam added on the word, now it ends with one mark. Al-kitabu. Al-kitabu. So when the particle alif lam is added to this type of ism, that it no longer accepts tanween, because tanween is the indication, is the alama for something to be naqira. It's the sign for the word or the ism to be naqira, indefinite. Alif lam is attached to the word. Now this noun or this adjective, in general, this ism, now it becomes ma'rifa. Ma'rifa, definite. Al-kitabu, the book, and it only ends in one mark. If I write or say al-kitabun, saying alif lam in the beginning of the word, adding kitabun, this is incorrect. Khata fi nahu. This is something that is incorrect in nahu, because the tanween, damatan, kasratan, fatatan represents that the word is naqira, and alif lam in front of the word represent this type of ism, that it is ma'rifa. Now there are some ism, al-asma, that does not accept no alif lam and does not accept tanween. This is why I said al-ism does not mean noun. It means noun, adverbs, pronouns, adjectives like this. Now we go to damir or dama'ir. Dama'ir are pronouns. Huwa, hiya. Who means he. Hiya means she. Huwa, it is a what? It is an ism because it's a pronoun. Huwa, hiya, he, she. I do not add on it alif lam, and I do not add on it tanween. These type of isms do not have tanween. But dama'ir, kulluha, all dama'irs are al-ma'rifa. All pronouns, huwa, hiya, ana, nahnu, which we'll learn later on about dama'ir, pronouns in Arabic. All of them are considered to be al-ma'rifa. They're all considered to be definite, even though there's no alif or lam in front of the words. All right? So we finished with this. There are some other words, asma'ul ishara, or they call demonstrative, like hada, dhalika, hadihi, tilka. These words are al-asma al-ishara. These demonstrative are considered to be al-ism, right? It's considered to be al-ism, correct? So al-ism, in some cases, or a lot of cases, they are fixed, and some of them are not fixed. Do not add on them alif lam. You do not add on them tanween. Tanween, the word tanween or tanween is only used for nouns and adjective. Alif lam or tanween is only used for nouns and adjectives in the Arabic language. So alif lam and tanween is a sign that the word is an ism and that either it falls under the case of alim, a noun, or sifat, adjective. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase the Muslim with knowledge. Ameen. So this is a sign of an ism in the Arabic language. Now there are other isms in Arabic language. For example, asma'u istifham. Asma'u istifham. These means the isms that are used for asking questions. Like for example, man. Man means huwa. It means he. Who? Man. Man huwa. Or man hiya. It means he or she. It means who. Equivalent to the meaning of the word in English, who. Man. It is not al-harf. It's not a particle. Man means, I hear the word in Arabic, men. And no, I'm talking about huwa or hiya. It's talking about he or she. All right? So man. Man is used for asking questions. Ma means what, and is used for asking questions. And ma also falls under different usage in Arabic language. It has different usage in Arabic language. It means no, it means what, it has other meanings and purpose in the Arabic language. Well, today you will learn that ma means what, and it's from al-asma istifham. So man, ma, aina. Aina means where, right? Man, ma, aina. These are also known as adawatu istifham, the instruments of istifham. Between the words are used for istifham, asking questions, some of them are al-asma or the ism, and some of them are harf. Some of them are particles. For example, when I hear in a sentence, the hamza, alif, ahadha al-kitab, is this a book? Ahadha al-kitab, when I hear this particle, hamza with alif, I'm known is used to be asking a question. So this is known as not an ism. It is considered to be a harf. So atwatu istifham, this is for advanced students. It's not for those beginner students. It's for advanced students who are studying maybe Arabic a little more deeper, Arabic grammar more deeper, or Arabic language more deeper. You'll understand that istifham, the majority of istifham are al-asma. They are considered to be an ism, right? Al-ism. But on them, we do not write alif lam. We do not write on it tanween. All right? And then we have from istifham, some of them are harf. Like, for example, hal hataka hadithu. Hal means whether, either, is used to ask a question, right? And it's known as to be al-harf, a particle, and it's not an ism. But majorities at atwatu istifham are ism, like man, aina, man, ma, aina. Right? Man means who, ma means what, aina means where, and this is some simple examples. So al-ism in Arabic in general, the general sign of an ism or the common ism that we will see are nouns and adjectives. Nouns and adjectives in the Arabic language either going to be an-nakhira, indefinite, or they're going to be al-marifa. So the following examples in the book on page 33, we're reading from right to left. The Sheikh wrote, he wrote a few words. Adhabun means punishment. Adhab, these are words that we see in Quran. You notice that the word is ending with what? Damatan, tanween, damatan. If we listen in Arabic language or we read the Quran, you're going to find sometimes you're going to see damatan. For example, adabun. Sometimes you're going to see kasratan, two kasras. Fi baitin, fi baitin. So when you hear the un or the an or the an, there's something making it an. There's something in grammar making it an. There's something in grammar making it in. And there's something in grammar making it un. But you know that these ending marks represent that the word is a ism. Either it's a noun or it's an adjective. Adabun shadidun. Adabun shadidun. We hear this in Quran, right? A severe punishment. The word adabun is a noun. Shadidun is an adjective. And there are special rules for adjective, but this particular book, Learning Arabic Language of the Quran, falls short on that lesson. So I will read from another book, inshallah, that I told most of the students. The books I will use for this class is Learning the Language of the Quran and Learning Arabic Made Easy by Abul Hashim. And I believe both of the authors of these books are from India. And I mentioned there's some things in the books that need to be need some deeper explanation. It might even be some mistakes in the usage of Arabic language due to the authors are not original Arabic speakers and they're not originally teachers for the Arabic language. So nakira, which means indefinite, and al-marifa, which means definite. So look back at the vocab. Adabun, reading right to left. Rajulun means a man. So these words are ending with what? Tanween. What is it? What is this word? Rajulun. Is it definite or indefinite? It is indefinite. It is what? Indefinite. Sama'un. Sama'un means sky. Ardun means earth. Suratun means picture. It says here form, but it means picture also or form. Jabalun means mountain. Imra'atun means woman. Samakun means fish. Ma'un means water. And malikun or mulukun means kingdom. Mulukun means kingdom. The book this chapter falls short on a lot of important lessons. First of all, in Arabic language, a noun or an adjective is either going to be masculine or feminine. Arabic language is not like the English language. In the English language, a word is most likely masculine. We don't have in English language that many words are feminine. We have some cases when a noun, which is considered to be masculine, is feminine, right? But we really don't have this. We don't have this in the English language. But in the Arabic language, a noun is going to be either masculine or feminine. A noun or an adjective in Arabic is going to be masculine or feminine. So there's some words on this list that are actually feminine. There's some words in this list that are actually feminine. So maybe today, inshallah, we're going to go over what are some of the signs of feminine use of words. What are some of the signs that we know of? So we're going to look on page 34. It's giving you some vocabulary. And I explained the lesson already. Page 34, page 35. I explained it last week. And I explained it just now. When you add the particle alif lam on a noun or an adjective, that the particle alif lam, it represents that the word is marifa and it no longer accepts tanween. So, easy way to compute the information. When the word is a noun or adjective and alif lam is in the beginning of the word, we understand that the noun ends with one mark. When the noun or the adjective does not have alif lam at the end of the word, at the beginning of the word, there's no alif lam, that it ends with 2 marks. So let's do math. When you see tanween represent the noun or the adjective ending in 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks. When alif lam becomes on a word, for example, on page 35, the first example that they give you, al bint, al bintu. So they have alif lam al plus bintun, put it together, al bintu. So when alif lam is on the word, it only ends in 1 mark. 1 mark. So it notes on page 36, it says, note, the proper noun in Arabic, hamidun, khalidun, hamidun, khalidun. These are called proper nouns in Arabic. Right? Proper nouns in the Arabic language. These are called proper nouns in the Arabic language. Right? Hamidun, Muhammadun. So we notice there's no alif lam on the word. Right? There's no alif lam on the word. I can write in Arabic and the examples in Arabic language. If you go to a school to learn Nahu, Arabic grammar, I could take the word Muhammad, I could put alif lam just for the purpose of learning grammar. And I can make the word Muhammad, Muhammadan, Dul, and Muhammadun, plural. But in Arabic language and the usage, you're not going to see this in much writing. But sometimes in explaining grammar, they're going to use this example, right? And sometimes the teacher might put alif lam on it. But it's only a rare case, and this is only to show you some things related to Arabic grammar and the usage and the patterns of writing certain things in grammar. But in the usage of the Arabic language, no, you will not see this, except for in some cases in Arabic grammar when they give you examples. So the word khalidun is considered to be a what? A proper noun. So let's read. The proper noun, like khalidun, hamidun, are definite by nature. Therefore, alif lam cannot be added to them. All right? So alif lam cannot be added to these particular words, hamidun, khalidun. For example, when two nouns come together in a possessive form, the notation or the tanween is dropped from the first noun with the corresponding. So I'm reading certain things, and so they don't even give you a lesson and an idafa, but he's talking about idafa. And I disagree with this particular approach. Where I'm going to teach you possessive case, and they don't even teach you what is a noun, what is an adjective. So we're going to skip this lesson, particular lesson, page 36, page 37. And they introduce on page 39 some words which are actually adjectives, but they don't explain to you, which related to colors. Akdaru, aswadu, asfaru. Colors are considered to be adjectives in Arabic. There are rules related to adjectives in Arabic. So this particular chapter, in the next chapter, falls weak on this point. So now I want to introduce another book. This book is called Arabic Made Easy. And for those who don't have the book, this is a PDF format, so they can download the book and use it. And I give time for people to download the book if they don't have it already. I have a lesson, or I have on this page a link. I have on the page this link. And the link I have on the page is from my website, Al-Madrasatu Ula, that we use. So I put a page, a new post on this website related to books that we use for this class and it's called I titled the page on my site. I titled it Free PDF Learning Arabic Language of the Quran for Online Live Class. And I put in this link some of the resources that we will use. I put everything, the books that we will use as a resource where you could download it wherever. You could use them and access to it, the resources. So giving time for people to download the book. And those who don't download it, inshallah, I will explain it in the means or in a way to try to make it as simple or more simple than the book itself. So in this particular book, which is titled Arabic Made Easy by Abu Hashim, another sheikh from India, there's some usage of vocab and the way he explained grammar. So some people who are not familiar with Arabic language or the way he used English language, because English language is not his mother tongue, they might find the book actually hard. So I do my best to explain the book in a more simple form, and I will do my best to explain the lessons simple form, and where I see that the author falls short in, I will try to explain it more. So the first lesson of the book, which is on chapter 8, is talk about al-ism. Everything I mentioned about the ism, I already just explained to us. Everything with the sheikh is missing in this book about al-ism. I already explained al-ism in this book, this chapter. And he says Arabic, there are three. Jaza'ul kalam, there are three parts of speech, or aqsamul kalam. Some different authors use different terminology. Jaza'ul kalam or aqsamul kalam. You read in Al-Rumi, you're going to say aqsamul kalam al-thalatha. The parts of speech are three. And this sheikh, he's using ajza'ul kalam, is the synonym for aqsamul kalam. So he said the parts of speech is three. Ism, wa fi'lun, wa harf. Right? Then he explained everything I already explained. What is an ism? What is a fi'l? What is a harf? He said Arabic ism includes noun, English nouns, pronouns, adjective, adverbs, and some interjections. He said verbs in English. He said verbs intensive with English verbs. He said all words besides ism or fi'l are particles. All right. And I mentioned last week in class the order: ism, al-ism, wal-fi'lu, wal-harf. Why this order? There are more isms than verbs, and there's more verbs than particles. This is why you must memorize it in this form. So I'm giving people some time to download. And somebody asking me a question, so I'm just waiting. Somebody said the link is not directed to the site. Well, I put, inshallah, the link for the book or whatever. I did my best to put it here in the comment section. All right. This is archived. This is PDF. If you click the link, it should open you to a PDF format. If you're using Facebook, for example, from your tablet, from your phone, and you don't have Adobe format on there, then you might find problems downloading. But you really don't need the book. If you find it problems downloading the book, do not waste your time trying to download it. Do it another time. The way I'm going to explain is going to be in more simple form and then the actual book. It's going to be more simple than the actual book itself. Now, the first chapter in this particular book, I already explained it in detail, more simple than he did here. Then he have you some vocabulary. We're not going to focus on the vocabulary here. Later on, another time we get middle of the course, middle of the lessons, maybe after 2 months or so, then I will get more into vocabulary because I will use another approach for vocabulary. Because some of the vocab in the book or the translations of the vocab Few of them are not accurate. Few of the usage are not accurate. Some of them, a lot of them are, but there's a few of them that's not accurate, and a few of them that need some little further explanation, understanding their usage, right? So lesson 1, I already explained. I want to focus now on the second lesson of the book, which is on page 10. So in Arabic made easy, on page 10, and then you see as myself, I don't restrict myself on teaching to one curriculum. As you see, I have this book, Learning Arabic Language of the Quran, and as the author said last weekend when I read the introduction of the book, he said he tried to make this to fit into other curriculum that other students are usage, right? By finding things that are short, that he's missing, that's very important. But there's things in here that's very important that don't explain well in this particular book I'm reading from. Now, this book I'm reading from, Arabic Made Easy by Abul Hashim, it is one path, one book I'm using that I learned from a long time ago. I see some benefits. Then I have some other books here. The other books here I have, An-Nahwu al-Wadih. Nahwu al-Wadih is explaining Arabic and Arabic in Arabic. There were time when it comes down the line that I'll probably explain certain things from this book for the students from this series, right? And this is a paperback series, but you could buy. This is 3 books. You could buy the 3: Juz Awal, Juz Thani, Juz Thalith. You could download this online, and I have this like in one book in my house. But I'll leave these books in the masjid, so I have access to them, and I don't have to travel with them back and forth when I travel to come to give lessons. And I will give you a little PDF, but we're not there yet. And the other book we use, Al-Ajrumiyya, and this is the Sharh, explanation of Al-Ajrumiyya. It's called Tufs Saniyya Al-Ajrumiyya. It's a very good book, a very good explanation of Al-Ajrumiyya. And I will explain some of it when we get there. So now lesson 2. Lesson 2, inshallah. Ismu as-sifat. Ismu as-sifat. Ismu sifat. The noun of the adjective, or the adjective. It doesn't even make sense now. Adjective is very hard to explain in English, but ism means the name of all things. The ism that is a sifat. Best way to put it. The ism that is a sifat. So lesson 2, it says in English, we say good boy. All right? We say good boy. He said in Arabic, the ism qualifies come first and the adjective comes next. For example, waladun hasanun. The waladun, which is the noun, hasanun, which is the adjective. And English is the opposite. All right? We say the good boy. But in Arabic, the adjective comes after the noun. The adjective comes after the noun. So related to the adjective, let me explain, before I read the book, let me explain it a little bit better than the book. In the Arabic grammar, the noun must match the ism. I'm sorry, the adjective must match the ism. The adjective must match the noun. That's a better way. The adjective must match the noun. So in Arabic, a noun is either going to be masculine or feminine. Masculine or feminine. The noun is going to be masculine or feminine. It's going to be singular, muthanna, dual, or jam'u, plural. The reason why I didn't explain the second lesson in this book, because the second lesson in this book and learning Arabic language of the Quran is teaching you the mufrad, the dual, and the jam'u and the plural of words, but you don't even know a word where it's masculine or feminine, because the plural of a word and the adjective of a word and the pluralness of the adjective of the word, you have to know if the word, the noun you're using, if it's masculine or feminine, then you know how to adjust that adjective. And there's some signs with the plural that's related to the adjectives that are feminine, that you must use a singular form, feminine form of a noun that is plural, what we call a broken plural in Arabic, like khutub. The plural for Arabic, the plural for a book in Arabic is kutubun. Kutubun. If I want to use an adjective, I use a feminine singular adjective for a broken plural. So there's some things you got to know about adjective before I even go into the book about the the plurals of certain words. It don't explain what's a feminine and the masculine noun, how that the adjective must agree with the noun. That's what I'm going to teach you right now. So the adjective in Arabic must agree with the noun. If the noun is masculine, the adjective must be masculine. If the noun is feminine, then the adjective must be feminine. Listen to me. If the noun is masculine, the adjective must be masculine. If the noun is feminine, the adjective must be feminine. And the adjective comes after the noun, not before it. Waladun hasanun. All right? Hasanun means good. Good. The boy is good. All right? Or a good boy. It's better translation, a good boy. So in Arabic grammar, adjective is very important to understand masculine and feminine. All right? So let's go over this. Continue. So he said, Waladun hasanun, a good boy. Rajulun jamilun, a handsome man. So you find here, look at the wisdom. The word rajulun and the word waladun, they are what? They are masculine, number one. They are what else? They are nakira. They're indefinite. They are nouns that are indefinite. How do I know they are nouns that are indefinite? The words are ending in what? Tanween. They're ending in tanween. And the word rajulun is masculine because the man is masculine and the boy is masculine. All right? So now he's going to explain a little bit more deeper, masculine and feminine words and things like that. So the author writes, Baytun kabirun. Baytun kabirun. Baytun kabirun. The big house. Or, I'm sorry, a big house. Baytun kabirun. A big house. So the word big, it matches the adjective. So the adjective must agree with the noun. Right? If the noun is definite, the adjective must be definite. If the adjective is indefinite, then the adjective must be indefinite. There are some cases when the noun is definite and the adjective is not definite. Anybody studying the Medina Arabic course in the first lessons in the book, it says al-qalamu maqsurun. Al-qalamu, it is what? Marifa. Have alif lam on the word qalam, which means pen. It has ended in one mark. So maqsurun, which is the adjective, and it's broken. It means broken. Maqsurun is what? It is indefinite. So al-qalamu, which is definite, al-qalamu is definite. Why do they make the adjective not indefinite? Why? It's a question to ask yourself. Why? It contradicts the rule. The rule could break. In grammar, some rules could break. The reason why the adjective is not in this particular case, marifa, definite, because this is a complete sentence in Arabic. Al-qalamu maqsurun. The pen is broken. If I say al-qalamu al-maqsurun, a broken pen, what about the broken pen? This book, and this book failed to teach you something in the introduction that in the hour studying Arabic and Arabic grammar is going to teach you. What is kalam? In this book it says kalimat, a word. I like to say kalam. What is kalam? What is speech in Arabic grammar? What is speech? According to the scholars of Arabic grammar, what is speech? Al-kalam huwa lafz al-murakkab al-mufidu bil-wadi'. This is when we need to go to al-jurumiyya. What is kalam? If you want to understand why it says kalamu maqsurun, you got to look back to in Arabic, what is kalam? What is speech? So in Arabic, speech is al-kalam huwa lafz, something that's pronounced out loud, words, lafz. Lafz means using words from the Arabic alphabets. Using words that are coming from the Arabic alphabet that is pronounced out the mouth, out loud. Al-nuqt. Al-nuqt al-lisan. Pronounced from the mouth or upon the mouth. So, speech is not writing. In Arabic grammar, speech is, according to the scholars of Arabic grammar, speech is what is spoken, not written. What is written, he wrote here in the book introduction, kalimat is something that is what? Spoken and written. That's the linguistic meaning of it. But according to the scholars of Arabic grammar, what is kalam or kalam is related to speech, using words from the Arabic grammar. Al-kalam, al-laf, al-murakkib. So now what's murakkib? Speech of using words like Muhammad, kitabun, rajulun, Arabic words, using words from the Arabic alphabets in Arabic language. Murakkib means 2 words or more. Al-mufidu, that is, the sentence makes sense, beneficial, meaning that when you say what you're going to say, that the one who's listening, when you finish your speech, he doesn't have to continue listening to, listen to you to understand what you're saying. So that means that the speech, whatever's being said or spoken, it makes sense. Al-murakkab, al-mufidu, 2 words or more that are beneficial. Bil-wadi, used as the Arab use Arabic language. So if I say al-qalamu maqsurun, هذا كلام. This is speech. هذا كلام. This is speech in Arabic. If I say al-qalamu al-maqsuru, I'm using it's lafz. It makes the conditions of lafz. It is murakkab. It's 2 words or more, but it's not mufid. It's not beneficial, because the listener is going to say, okay, the broken pen, qalamu al-maqsur. What about the broken pen? Well, I said al-qalamu maqsurun. That means al-qalamu huwa al-maqsur. It is complete sentence. That's what it means. All right? So back to adjectives and its rules and its regulation and some things related to it. So in Arabic, the adjective must agree with the noun in all cases. If the noun is masculine, the adjective must be masculine. If the adjective is feminine, if the noun is feminine, the adjective must be feminine. So the adjective, whether it's going to be feminine, masculine, is based upon the noun. If the noun is singular, then the adjective must be singular. If the noun is dual, in Arabic has something called dual. In Arabic language, keep this mental note and write it down somewhere. In Arabic language, dual, which is called muthanna, is not plural. In English language, 2 is plural. In the Arabic language, 2 is not plural, it is dual. It is what? Dual. We call in Arabic muthanna. It is dual and it's not plural. So if the noun is dual, the adjective must be dual. Whether it's feminine or masculine, it must be also that and dual. If it's plural, the noun is plural, the adjective must be plural. But there's some conditions with that part. All right? Because we have different type of plurals in Arabic language. We will go through that, inshallah, tonight. So to continue with the Sheikh is saying, in this particular book, the author of the book, an adjective agreed with the ism is qualified in its definiteness. If the ism qualify to be nakira, meaning the ism is nakira, I'm going to try to use simple English. If the ism is nakira, then the adjective must also be nakira. I mentioned that already. If the adjective and the adjective must also be nakira. So if the ism, then the ism, meaning the noun, if it is indefinite, then the adjective must be indefinite. For example, waladun, hasanun, rajulun, jamilun, baytun, kabirun. These are examples. Now, if the ism is marifa, if the ism is definite, then the adjective must be definite. And I already mentioned that. And he give you some examples. Al-waladu al-hasanu. So the noun here, which is al-walad, al-waladu, and have alif lam, and then in one mark, the adjective hasanu also has alif lam, and it becomes al-hasanu. Al-waladu al-hasanu. The boy is good. So the boy is masculine, and the adjective is masculine. The word boy waladu is what? Marifa, definite, and the adjective is also marifa. That's why it has alif lam and ending in one mark. Ar-rajulu al-jamilun. Ar-rajulu al-jamilun. The man, the handsome man. Right? So ar-rajulu al-jamilun. The rajulun is the noun, and the adjective is what? I'm sorry. Ar-rajulun, it is definite, and the adjective is definite. Al-baytu al-kabiru, the noun, it is what? It is definite, and the adjective is definite. What else? We look at these three examples. Each one of these words are what? Singular. So the adjective agrees with the noun. The adjective is singular. The noun is singular, so the adjective is singular. It follows with it. It follows through with the adjective follow through with the line, with the noun. The adjective follow through with the noun. So the Sheikh wrote, he said, but al-waladu hasanun, or waladun al-hasanun, ar-rajulun al-jamilun, ar-rajulun jamilun, wa baytun kabirun, he said, are incorrect, and he's wrong. Because the first example, al-waladu hasanun, that is wrong, because they put at the end of the hasan one mark. All right? Al-rajulu, al-waladu hasanu is incorrect. But if I wrote al-waladu hasanun, and then damatan, not one mark, then it's correct, because it's a complete sentence. But what they wrote here, al-waladu hasanu, is wrong, because hasanu represents that the word is marifa, so this adjective must have alif lam written on it. So if I write it without alif lam and put ending with one mark, then it's incorrect. All right? So all these examples are incorrect. They're incorrect. They're not right. But if I did write al-waladu hasanun, and the adjective ending in what? Tanween, then that's a correct sentence, and it's called a jamlu mufid, a beneficial sentence, or we say in English, a complete sentence, the complete thought. Continuing on, he said definiteness and ism qualifies. I'm gonna skip some of that because his language he's using might throw people off. He said qualifying adjective, you need the sifat, and qualifying the noun is called al-mawsuf. And I explain that later on. That's not very important right now. I explained everything you needed to know about the adjective, but there are some conditions. So the adjective must agree with the noun. So we have next question of the next chapter. In the next chapter, inshallah, it's talking about al-jins. Al-jins. Jins means gender. Jins in Arabic language, lesson 3, same book, page 13. It means gender. The word jins means also sex, gender, masculine or feminine. So I already explained that every noun and adjective in Arabic either is going to be masculine and feminine. There's no noun or adjective that's like unisex or have no gender. There's no noun that I know of or adjective that not have no gender. Either going to be masculine or feminine. Even the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is, the word itself is masculine. The word Allah, the spelling of the word Allah, it is masculine. That's why I say huwa Allah. Huwa. We use the pronoun he. We don't use the pronoun here. We're referring to Allah. right? So every noun in Arabic either is going to be a masculine and feminine. How do I know if it's masculine or feminine? As one of my teachers said to me this last week, he says you must be a alim, sheikh, study this field, study the kumus, study the dictionary in and out, look up words, look at them up. Because the most Arabic to Arabic dictionary is going to explain to you if that word is masculine or feminine. Right? They're going to give you examples using the words, and either the adjective with is going to be masculine or feminine, or the verbs being used with it is going to be masculine or feminine, because the verb also follows the noun if it's masculine or feminine. For example, I want to say the boy he did, huwa fa'ala. The boy he did. I want to say the girl she did, hiya fa'alat. See, this is different in the sounds. I added a letter to the verb. So masculine and feminine is very important in the Arabic language. English language don't have this. For some Americans or English speakers who don't have two languages with them, then sometimes this is hard for them. If you speak Spanish, Spanish, we have masculine and feminine words. In Spanish, loco, loca. We say this in the street. The guy who's crazy, loco and loca. And this is feminine, right? In Spanish, we have masculine and feminine words. In Arabic, we have masculine and feminine words. In English, we don't. So in Arabic, while you're speaking, while you're talking, while you're conjugating verbs, you must be very sure about the words, the nouns that you're using. Are they masculine or feminine? Because this is how you will conjugate your verbs. This is how for the nouns you'll make your adjective. Fi buyutillah. Buyut. I want to say buyut is the plural of bait. How I make an adjective with buyut. I want to say the houses are big. It's very important. There's some science to these things. So this is why I might get into the lesson about mafrat, mudhanna, and jam'u. The singular, the dual, and the plural. I might get into the lesson yet until we finish this. So I'll introduce lesson 3 and we will stop. I'll introduce a little bit of it and then we'll stop for the next weekend, inshallah. Could get people time to catch up. So in Arabic, there are two genders. Al-Mudhakkar, which means masculine, and Al-Mu'annith, which means feminine. There is no neutral or neutral gender, meaning neutral. I'm going to change up some of his English language. There's no neutral gender. There's no unisex gender in the Arabic grammar. Either the word, the noun, the adjective is going to be masculine or feminine. The following categories, ism, are either mu'annith and the rest are mudhakkar. So he said isms are mu'annith and the rest are mudhakkar. The way he worded is not right. Either the word in Arabic, the noun is going to be mudhakkar, or masculine or feminine. Every noun you read is not going to be feminine. Right? It's like half. All right, so I don't know why he worded up this way. I disagree with him in that area right here. He's the following categories: isms are mu'annith, and the rest are mudhakkar. Yes, I'm sorry. He's right. He's talking about his book. What he's explaining in his book. I'm sorry. He's explaining his following lesson. So yes, and his following categories he's about to mention. Yes, the way he's categorized, he's going to explain first mu'annith. Then he's going to explain what is mudhakkar. So he explained. What are the signs of feminine in Arabic? Feminine gender. Nouns that are feminine gender and the adjective are feminine gender. How you make the adjective feminine. So let's talk about nouns. He said, ta'u marbuta. Ta'u marbuta. We see, I will try to write down for those who are following me. Ta'u marbuta, which is called the tying ta, which you only see ta'u marbuta لآخر الكلمات وهي آخر كلمات ولا آخر الكلمات أو آخر حرف. It's the word the letter that you find at the end of the word or the ending letter represents that a word is feminine. You never see ta'u marbuta in the beginning of the word. Never. Or the middle of a word. Never. Ta'u marbuta is only at the end of the word, like surah, surah to Baqarah, Both of these two words in Quran, this is the name of a surah. They both ending with what? Ta'u marbuta. And that represents that that noun and that word is feminine, right? So he said ta'u marbuta. He said all isms ending in ta'u marbuta are mu'annith, are feminine. Mu'annith. For example, the word, which is masculine here, hasanun, to make it feminine, you add ta marbuta to this adjective. Hasanatun. Hasanatun. Jamilun, which means handsome for the man. Use it for mudhakkar, it's masculine, right? Using jamil, it's masculine here. This adjective is masculine. I want to make it feminine. Jamilatun. We hear this all the time. Here, jamila. Jamilatun. Yes? So this is something that is very important in understanding Arabic grammar. So if the ism ending in ta or marbuta is clearly indicate a male. He said, however, an ism ending in ta or marbuta clearly indicates a male is mudhakkar. For example, there are some male names in Arabic that end with ta or marbuta, like Usama, Talhatu, Usamatu, right? So these are men names, but they end in ta or marbuta, so they are masculine words. So these naming for men are excluded to being feminine gender, even though it ends in ta or marbuta, right? He said isms are not ending in ta or marbuta. Any ism that does not have ta or marbuta, but clearly indicate a female gender, then it's mu'annaf, it is feminine gender. Like, for example, the name girl, Bint, is not ending in ta or marbuta, but it's feminine. Or the name Hind and Zainab. Hindun and Zainabu. Right? These are girls' names. They're not ending in ta or marbuta, but they are feminine. He said all now, and listening, all what is considered to be feminine gender. Words are things are considered to be feminine gender. Names, words, and things are considered to be feminine gender, no matter what is written at the end of it. All right? No matter what is written. Some words you can mention here, they're not ending with ta or marbuta, but they are feminine. So all alphabet letters are considered to be feminine. So all the letters, alif, ba, ta, tha, so on and so forth to the end of the Arabic alphabet, all these letters are considered to be feminine. All body parts that are in pair, ain, yad, hands, this is a pair. It doesn't end with ta marbuta, but it's feminine. Rijl, legs, all these words, udhun, air, they are feminine words. The name of towns and cities and countries. So all the names of towns, cities, and countries are feminine, right? But there's some countries that are not considered to be feminine. We go over that later. But majority, all countries, the name of all countries are feminine. The names of all cities and towns, Medina, Medina. Hadihi Medina Jamila. Hadihi Medina. This is a beautiful city. Right? It is feminine. Medina, city, Medina. Right? So all towns. New York. Huh? New York is feminine. America, Amreeki, feminine. Mecca, feminine. Saudi, feminine. Then you're going to list. There are some ism. There's some nouns. They do not end with ta or marbuta, but they are feminine. He lists some of them. He says these words are feminine even though they don't end with ta or marbuta. Ardun, Shamsun, Qamrun, Narun, Darun, Sama'un, Nafsun, Rihun, Suqun, Dunya, Jahannam, Bir, right? Bir, the well. So there are a lot of words that do not end with ta or marbuta, but they are feminine. He said adjective must also agree with the mawsuf, the thing that is describing, meaning the noun. He must agree with it. And gender, right? Bintun, hasanatun. And so on and so forth. Now, he listed, sum it up. What are words and things that are considered feminine? What? All letters of the Arabic alphabet. All body parts that are impaired. The names of city, towns, and countries, right? There's one or two countries that are considered to be masculine. But in general ruling, all cities, all towns, name of all countries are feminine. And there are some nouns that are not in ta'u marbuta, but they are feminine. Like al-ard, the earth, ard, al-shams, the sun, khamr, wine, nar, narun, the fire, darun, state or house, sama'un, the sky, nafsun, soul or self, rihun, wind, or soul. Rika also means soul, but here, wind. These words are feminine. Suqun, market, feminine. Dunya, the world, it's feminine. Jahannama, or Jahannamu, it is feminine, meaning the hellfire, right? And there's other words, the list, there's a whole bunch of other words that are feminine, and they're not in Tara Mabuta. There are some other things that are feminine, but I'll talk about that another time when we learn about plurals, inshallah. So that will conclude the lesson for tonight in this particular book, and inshallah, we will start next time, inshallah, lesson 4, al-idafa. Lesson 4, al-idafa. And that will conclude the lesson for tonight. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik wa shala wa ant wa astaghfirullah wa tubu ilayk. And anybody have any questions, inshallah, you can always post it to this video in the comment section. Barakallahu fikum.